I'll be on camera in just a little bit, but just really excited to be getting ourselves together. Of course, for the Foundation for Women's Cancer, we do push forward to enable research, to empower patient education, and increase awareness and activism about the cancers that we treat and that we are faced with on a day-to-day basis. So I am so thankful for all of you for taking a moment of your time and your commitment to building a better future and a bigger future together. And I'm going to turn this over to very gifted hands, to Holly, so that Holly can walk us through the agenda for this evening. And most of all, just welcome and jump in, ask questions, new ideas, new thoughts, and together, just everything is possible. So welcome, and Holly, take it away.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gardner. And because we have a few folks who are new to the call this evening, which we love seeing new faces and knowing that new people are on the line, I will just share, as I should have, that Dr. Gardner is the chair of the Foundation for Women's Cancer Board of Directors, and she has served in that role for 3 years. She is a gynecologic oncologist at Memorial Sloan Kettering, and she is just a magnetic leader and connector for us all. And she's going to be in her role as the chair for the next 3 years. So thank you so much, Dr. Gardner. We know you and your colleagues at Memorial Sloan Kettering are going to be really firing up. You're always one of our top teams. So thanks so much for the warm welcome.
I'm going to have to take care of you on the side for such a kind remarks, Holly. This is not about me. This is about us. And I'm simply one of many, representing the Society of GYN Oncologists and all of us that work in the field and on behalf of our patients and to build a better future. So I'm but one of many, and just so grateful for us to be together this evening.
Well, thank you so very much. So Marissa, if you can please go to the next slide, that would be wonderful.
Well, and we just had Tori join us. Welcome, Tori.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, Tori. Thanks so much. Your timing is perfect. We're really just getting started as we have a couple of new friends joining us from Ohio and Miami, but Chris and Emily happen to be in Maine right now, so they're in much cooler territory. But Tori, we're delighted to see you again. So just in terms of our agenda, just to help set expectations, we really want this to be a conversation with everybody. And I know that we'll be expecting a couple of more friends to be joining on the call, but we really want to engage, inspire, and empower you all to have the tools that you need to put together whatever kind of a fundraising outreach or event that you would like to do. So we're going to talk about the Move4Her impact update to date. We'll share some information about some of the teams that have already come together and who have planned events already. We'll then walk through the September fundraising challenge, share some updates to our fundraising toolkit, and then just most importantly, have conversations throughout the call so that people can share their own ideas or helpful hints of things that have worked well for them. So the next slide, please, Marissa. For those of you who are new, you're joining at a really great time because we're nearly 92% towards our goal of raising $575,000. But we really are concentrating now on encouraging others to put together teams so that we can increase the number of teams that we have. We've got 43 teams that have come together, and we've got 10 local events that have been completed, and we have over 11 that have been planned. So just to share a few things, we do not have Amy Murrah on the call, but I know she'll be joining us.
Amy just joined. She just joined, Holly, right as you said her name.
Oh, well, perfect timing.
Yeah.
So as Amy is coming on, I know that Amy, you have got your Raise the Hood for Women's Cancer car show coming up on August 24th. So any updates that you might want to share about that with the group?
Okay, did you just say something to me?
I did. It was pretty unfair because you literally just joined the call, but I was just telling people that we've got 11 upcoming events planned, and yours happened to be the first one that is coming up on August 24th. So I didn't know if you had any new updates that you wanted to
Oh,
share.
okay. Whew, it's been a long day. Today was the first day back with kids, so it's a little tiring. Um, and I think the last kid got picked up at like 5:40. So, but yes, we just actually, there were some glitches as things always happen, but I just got our radio ad sent to me today. And so that'll be on every day. It's supposed to be several times on different stations until the event. I don't know if I told you that we're gonna have this big, huge tire swing.
No.
Yeah, it's what's it called? A boom truck? Yeah. It's on a tow truck, a boom truck, and it's like an 1,000-pound tire, so I don't even know what it comes from. So and we started getting registrations early, but yeah, hopefully we have space for I think it was 150 vehicles. 120 or so. So I hope that my husband and I went out Sunday and put up all the banners because the place where who's hosting it never put it out, and they've had it for 3 weeks. So I was a little PO and I said, just give it back to me. I'll take care of it. So yep, that's where we are. And we have about $4,000 in sponsorship, which is,
Wow,
yeah.
that is
Um,
fabulous.
we have
Well,
50 goodie bags. Well, that's in cash money. That's not even the donations for our goodie bags. And we have 50 goodie bags for the first 50. We have the tire swing. We now have 2 food trucks. We have a coffee truck and a funnel cake truck, our barbecue guy, and now we have a home baker coming. We got our DJ secured. I don't know what else.
well, we should tell people where you're going to be on August 24th in Virginia.
That would probably, yeah. It's in King George, Virginia, which is about 25. Sorry, I'm outside and my puppy's squeaking the toys. About 25 miles east of Fredericksburg towards Maryland. There,
Terrific.
stop.
Well, I knew exactly your hometown, but I wasn't sure exactly where it was in Virginia, but I thought it was close to Maryland. So thanks for
It is.
clarifying. But
It is. It's actually like 5 miles maybe, hun, from the bridge to Maryland.
so what our goal is for everyone on the call is really not only to have events, but really to increase our outreach with participants. And Amy has been generous to do so much of the work on her own, but you can also set up registration pages that we can help you with. My colleague, Catherine Kneebone, is on the call, and we'll introduce her and talk a little bit more about that. But the other events that are being planned that are fundraising events, we had a colleague from Cario Farm who was on our last call, and they are taking a planned industry partner staff meeting to add a Move for Her walk component to that planned staff meeting. So the idea for this Believers Walk is that during this week that the Cario Farm industry partners are talking about patients and celebrating patients, they're going to host in addition a Move for Her walk. And we're working with them to try to secure an SGO speaker to attend that event in Newton, Massachusetts. So that will be on August the 28th. And then we have another great colleague, Eric Rios Doria from Seattle, who has partnered together with the Seattle Storm. And they are going to, in a similar fashion to what Gail has been leading with the Chicago Sky, we're going to have a WNBA community spotlight focusing on the Foundation for Women's Cancer on September 7th during Gynecologic Cancer Awareness Month. So the Seattle Storm is very excited about promoting the FWC. So we're going to take our Jumbotron graphics from Chicago and move them on over to Seattle. So we've got a couple of things that we're in conversation with about the WNBA. we have a tennis event that is being planned by a wonderful colleague outside of New York City, Play for Pink and Purple. So she took an event that was always focused on breast cancer research, used all the great organization, and is now incorporating purple and awareness for gynecologic oncology and gynecologic cancers. So that's been a very successful event. And we'll talk more about the Inova Health Sunrise to Sunset Walk. And then we have another walk that is being planned in Seattle on September 28th, the same day as our Move for Her walk and celebration. So anytime that we can have multiple events in different parts of the country, that's fun. Also on that day, there will be an Ironman triathlon. And that is something that we'll be promoting on September 28th. The grateful patient of Dr. Gardner is participating in that in New York. We have yet to be scheduled 2 Pure Barre events in St. Louis that will be taking place in September. So we're trying to get the schedule coordinated with an SGO representative to talk about the education and awareness at those events. And then we have a University of Chicago Medicine walk that will be taking place here in Lincoln Park around our zoo, and concluding with an early morning casual brunch on Sunday, September 29th. So hopefully having a few of those event ideas will give you all some ideas of things that might be possible in your own community. And Amy, I am just seeing, is this your cocktails for ovarian cancer? That is being planned on September 7th. So please let us know more about that, Amy.
It's actually Cocktails for Cancer. It's take out the ovarian. But I asked 4 restaurants that are in a local walking distance, but 2 of them are corporate. And they said no, but the other 2 are. And so I just have to finalize with it, but I just have to get through this event first. And they have the option. They're going to most likely design or a specific drink that's teal colored. And we haven't figured out the rest of the details because one of them just emailed me and said, what do we need to do next? We're in. So it's a matter of just figuring that out. And then if it does, you know, I don't know how well it'll do, but it's on a Saturday night. So hopeful.
Amy, you are rock and rolling this year. I thought it might be interesting if you could just share a little bit about how you solicit your sponsorships, because that's pretty impressive. Holly, is this an okay time to have that conversation? Yeah. Yeah, because you know, $4,000, that's a healthy sponsorship.
So I know what it's like. I know what it's like because I had a nonprofit for 13 years for ovarian cancer, and how frustrating and blah, blah, blah. So, and when I had my business, people would come to me, and I know how frustrated they were when we couldn't support everybody. But I'm not really good at taking no for an answer. So we built on it. So the first year it was going to all these different places within the community that were connected to vehicles for the car show. And then I built on it. And so one of the restaurants that I asked for the Cocktails for Cancer couldn't do it. So because of the corporate, so they gave us 50 coupons for each goodie bag plus 2 gift cards for giveaways. So it's really just been building on it, but it's knocking down the door. It's saying why I'm doing this, what the purpose is. And I always lead with, without a woman, you wouldn't be here. So and everybody has a woman in their life. But some of our sponsors that we've had since year 1 have given us $500 donation or sponsorships when they first started with like $50 or $100. So the people who are still, this is the cash sponsoring, not like I said, including all the donations. It's a matter of them just being supportive of it and believing in the cause. And, you know, I give them a letter and the information, and in that letter, it says, it's pretty much the same letter every year now because there's not much to change on it. but it says that I'm very fortunate that after fighting for 13 years, someone finally, did something, and that's when they found out I had cancer. And I'm fortunate to still be here. And in those efforts, I'm going to continue to advocate and do this kind of I can't think of the word right now, but anyway, so it's been really, we only had like, I don't know, a few $100s the first year. So, it has definitely grown. The supports, now that we have a title sponsor, they're actually doing the ad for us. We're not paying for it. So it's just been growing. It's not, we're definitely not where I'd like us to be, because, they don't, I don't ask for a lot to register the vehicles. It's a $20 registration, but we have built it and we have more awards now. And so by year 10, my goal is by year 10, we'll be at a really good financial standing that will just continue to grow. And if we outgrow our space, well, then we'll worry about it then. But we got 3 years to do that. So, it's really just knocking on doors and just saying, hey, look, this is the cause. We would love to have, and I always said, the other thing I always tell them is I really want to support the local businesses, since this is where I live and this is where the event is, and giving back and recognizing and making sure that everyone knows that you're a part of it, because we want to support them as well. So it has been very helpful. And like I said, and it's just, yeah, so we've probably gotten, we have, I think, 20 different donations to give away. So maybe like $6,000 in total between sponsorship and donations. It's the most we've ever had. And then if you include the radio ad, they gave me a $2,000 radio ad, or $2,000 towards a radio ad that from the title sponsor. So yeah, I guess it's just my personality.
That's really good, a good share. Thank you for that,
when
Amy.
I'm dedicated and compassionate and believe in something, I go for it. And if one door closes, I go to the next one.
Mhm.
And I'm,
Well-
more than willing to help anybody who needs some information or whatever I can do. I'm just shoot me a text or an email is probably better, because now that I'm back at work, I don't really check my phone.
Well, that's a really kind offer. Thank you so much for that, Amy. It's really been a pleasure watching your event grow. I've only been here for 3 years and I've seen it grow. So thanks for adding those valuable tips. And I know we're going to be talking about the toolbox later. Perhaps a letter or something is something that we could add to the toolkit. I think that might be a valuable piece that others might want to have access to, but we can talk about that later. Holly, I'm sorry. Somehow I got your name tag now, but
As you know,
Thank
Gail,
you.
it is a team effort. Everything
that
is a team
is
effort.
so, look at my name.
Hold on, I'm updating it right now for you. There you go.
Oh, did it really switch?
Yeah.
Oh, I was able to edit it.
No
That
worries.
is-
Well, it would be great to be cloned, Gail. I think we all agree with that. But
Does
you
that mean
are,
there's 4 of us or 2? Oh, there's only
Yeah.
2. That means I
So-
go away. Okay, whatever.
No, but obviously, anyone, please jump in. So I want to be thoughtful to let others ask questions. But Amy, I know you've been so kind to share resources before, so maybe we'll follow up with you and see what things that we could share that might be good to offer to others as well.
And I love that idea, adding the sponsor letter to the toolkit, and we'll get to that a little later. We'd love to hear additional feedback, especially from those active in event planning, to make sure that our toolkit is useful, and if there's anything else that we could look to add to it to support you all. So we'll definitely have some time shortly to talk about that.
Well, this is great. So I think this has been a perfect lead into our next slide, Marissa. Thank you all so much, because really we want to hear updates from you all. So I don't know if others have updates that you might be able to share. Tori, I know that you were working to start planning something, so I don't want to put you on the spot, but if you might want to share with us some of your thoughts or where we might be helpful to you as well.
Sure. Yes, I got an event coming up on September 14th at Body Bar Pilates in Alpharetta. They're going to take the day of classes, which is 7 classes that day, and they'll all be donation-based classes.
Wow.
And they have a lot of good partnerships and good community um, folks that they're going to kind of help to make part of this. And I was just actually listening to Amy talking about the sponsorship thing, and I'm reaching out to some people too to see if we can kind of get them on board with this as well, and maybe either kind of try to incorporate either a silent auction kind of stuff or do raffles. So that way, instead of reinventing the wheel for different events, see if we can kind of try to like put all of this together. So that's where we are with that so far.
It's fabulous. And, you know,
Yeah.
I should have mentioned before, but certainly you're making me think of it now. We will be happy to share any patient education materials or resources with you all. And, you know, we have some Move4Her exercise bands and other things that we've used for the Pure Barre events. So certainly, if it would be helpful to schedule a separate call, we have some nice lessons learned from our Pure Barre experience, and
Yeah.
happy to follow up with you. And we have some wonderful SGO members in the Atlanta area. So if it might be the kind of thing that there's a particular time that you want something to be in person or taped, you know, would certainly be able to be happy to try to make that happen.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. I was just trying to think of like different incentives that would kind of help folks that day who are maybe already donating, but everyone loves the idea of like something. Like if I, hit $50 or $100, something like, individual donation wise, is there a t-shirt? Is there a something, like that we can
Well,
kind of sweeten the deal with
definitely.
it,
If you direct them to register through the Move4Her to join your team,
Yeah.
anyone that pays $45 that goes to the team total too, that is what gets somebody a t-shirt mailed to them. So our t-shirts are going to begin being mailed out in August, and they'll be mailed out on a weekly basis. So, you know, certainly for some of our September events, it will be nice if people maybe want to wear their t-shirts. We'll have some nice photo ops, but we're happy to walk you through that. But, you know, Catherine can help you set up your QR code on a giving page, and we can gear it so that folks are encouraged to register for Move4Her. Asking people to do that will be the most important thing. And then they can make a donation on top of that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, Catherine has been great. I'm like looking for your face on thing. Okay. Catherine has been great. We've emailed back and forth and she's helped me come up with a landing page. So we're getting that together.
Well, I am not surprised that Catherine is ahead of me. Again, great to have a great team.
That's right.
So fabulous that is working out. But just keep us posted. And Catherine is in Austin. I'm in Chicago. So I have access to the educational materials and the swag. So I'll follow up with you separately just to see how many would be helpful to share with you.
Wonderful. I appreciate that.
So I actually had a question for the group because I know I joined a few minutes after Shannon joined, but we just had an incredible first time we all met in person, or at least I met all of these folks in person from around the country, survivors. We met in Ohio at what we have now, what we call our own camp that we created. And so we have potential ambassadors from that group that are all over the country. So we have people from Nashville, and we have people from Seattle and Ohio. So what we would like to do, and Shannon, I love your thoughts on this as well, is I'd like to go back, if someone could join a call with our group of survivors and like brief us on where we are, what we could do to either help events that are already in progress in our markets instead of starting from scratch for September. So like beef up, like making phone calls or helping out or doing things like we can add, we have people that have time, we have people that have interest and have the personal connections. So we would be happy to try to gear up on that for our year one, because right now it's hard for everyone to gear up in like a month's time. That being said, we could also plan something nationwide with our survivors for beyond September, because we know that this is important beyond just September. So wanted to offer that as a like hybrid move for some of the young survivors that have time and interest and in maybe helping out locally or nationally with whatever you guys need, and also ask if anyone's done a virtual event that's been successful that we can even maybe get our different markets to compete against each other to try to raise more funds. So just something to think about, but to, you know, in the spirit of camp, wanted to take it a step forward.
Yes, and to all of that. So we would love to have your help, in particular for your colleagues and connections that are in Seattle, where we know that we've got a group of healthcare systems coming together to serve as the Seattle Alliance. And especially as we're headed to the Seattle area for our Society of Gynecologic Oncology annual meeting. We'll be there for the not only the SGO annual meeting, but also our foundation's Patient and Advocates Education Forum that will be on Friday, March the 14th. The SGO annual meeting is the 15th to the 17th, and we are very welcoming of other patients and advocates to attend that professional meeting for the gynecologic oncologist. And we've got a really nice track of programs and activities that our patient education committee puts together to help the patient advocates network, but would be happy to join a call with you and your camp friends, Mahal. I just wish we could have gone to camp with you in Ohio, but we will definitely follow up so we can get something scheduled. And Marissa, maybe when you're talking through the step challenge, that's something that could be really an activity. And, you know, it's movement. If, you know, walking isn't something, I've not been doing a lot of walking myself recently for a variety of reasons related to my hip, but we can talk about that as potentially a way to get if you all put one camp team together this year and got people engaged, that might be meaningful, but would love to talk more with you.
Yeah, no, I think we definitely can get a camp team. We're talking about having camp events around the country for over, you know, where we have reunions and getting to see each other every 6 months, but more frequently than not. So as we're going to keep moving these events forward, having some members come to SGO next year is something that we're talking about, and to the Advocacy Day and other things. So we have people that are definitely interested in doing things. We have people in Orlando. We have people literally in Hawaii. You name it, we have the states pretty much covered in different ways, or have people who are willing to call any state. So if we could set up, usually we have a call on Thursday nights. So if we could schedule a time, not necessarily this Thursday, but maybe next week, or, you know, we can talk offline, Marissa and Holly, about what would make sense. I think we could really do something great. But Shannon, what do you think?
I agree to everything you just said. We are so eager to help, and I think it's more of we just need a little bit of guidance to springboard our camp into something to make it a national thing. We get all of our girls from all of the states to put something together, and we just need that little bit of help that's why, Mihal, how you're saying this first year, we'd like to help an event that maybe is already going on to get our feet wet and to kind of get into it more.
Yeah, and we also have a bunch of very creative types in this group, very artistic and very creative. So if anyone needs any creative things, from bracelets to logo designs or other things that they want to do for a specific event, or just something to auction off or something like that, we have people that are well connected, but also very creative and willing to share their creative juices, for sure.
100%.
That's wonderful. And do you have any friends in Charlotte, North Carolina?
I think that is the one area we do not have anyone in. Of course.
Well, That's a shame, but we'll hope that
we
you
will
make
try
some
to find
connections.
some.
Let
Yes.
me ask, because there might be on one other group that there might be someone from Charlotte. So on the groups that we've been in together, we may not, but I have an idea for Charlotte. That's someone I met.
Terrific. And we are talking about a golf outing that will benefit the Foundation for Women's Cancer in January of next year in Southeast Florida. And I know I've mentioned that to you, Mahal, because for your friends from Orlando, that may be of interest, but appreciate the spirit of sharing and the ideas, but we would love to follow up next Thursday.
Awesome.
That sounds great. And just so that you know, for the golf outing, we have one of our survivors is a golfer. So if you need someone
Awesome.
and she lived in Florida. So there you go.
Wonderful. Well, Marissa, maybe we should go on to the next slide now, but I think we've got some great follow-up activities.
Excellent. Yes, so the perfect segue. So Mihal and Shannon, something to consider, and we are more than happy to come share this with your group. But based on feedback we've gotten in past years, we want to really leverage our toolkit to empower team leads to maximize their fundraising. So we're so excited to introduce this group first, a new fundraising challenge during Gynecologic Cancer Awareness Month. So this is basically a way for existing Move4Her registrants to track their activity through the month. And again, this is like for someone exactly like yourselves, Mihal and Shannon, like if this year you don't have the full capacity to put on an event, there will be new tools in our toolkit, like an email, a social post, how-to guide. And you can basically take that, email it out to your network and say, hey, join me. I'm committing, for instance, I'm committing to walking 5,000 steps a day for the month of September. Join my team and let's track our distance. And if you can, donation of any amount is welcome. I'm trying to raise throughout the month $1,000, or whatever your goal is, and communicate that out to your group. So we'll provide the tools to do that. And then it's really easy to be able to activate on your end. So the first thing is you just got to sign up on Raisely to participate. Then you have to download the Strava app. Then that connects to Raisely, and we're going to have new leaderboards. So as we showed on the first slide, there's an awesome leaderboard tracking teams and individual progress, but we're also going to have separate leaderboards tracking a team and individual movement throughout the month. And then we're going to spotlight our top 5 winners on social at the end of the month. So a little bit more granular. And again, this is all going to be in the guide, so no need to write it down, but just wanted this group to be aware of how this actually works and how people can participate. So the first step, if you want your distance to be tracked through Raisely and show up on the leaderboard, step 1 is being registered as a Move4Her fundraiser, and you can either do that as an individual or team lead. Then is making sure you have Strava set up. So those not familiar with Strava, it's an app that can help track different movement activities. So we have really detailed instructions on during that setup process, what to select. There is also an option, we're not trying to add something new to the mix and make it more difficult. So for instance, I know I personally am an Apple Watch user, so it can sync to different tracking devices, such as an Apple Watch. There's an easy button that you can just click to select that. Then after you have your Strava account, you can go back into your Raisely profile, and there's a button that you can select connect with Strava, and this is what syncs up your Raisely profile and your Strava account. And then just every time you're walking or hiking during the month, you can either press record within the Strava app, or, you know, if you're like me and you use your Apple Watch, you just track your activity within your Apple Watch and press record, and it automatically syncs. So you can go to your Raisley profile and check your total pretty much in real time, which is exciting. And then the last is we just encourage everyone to share and support success. So there'll be social media posts within the toolkit, emails to activate your network. And we encourage everyone to kind of share on social media how they're doing throughout the month using hashtag Move4Her. And again, you all are the first group we're previewing this with, and we're officially launching on Monday. So if you go to move4her.org on Monday, you'll be able to view these instructions and some of these tools in our Move4Her toolkit. So I'll pause. And does anyone have any feedback, questions, thoughts?
How about our camp friends? Does this sound like something that you all might want to do with your colleagues around the country? Does it sound potentially?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
we're already texting of like who we can call for
Yes.
which companies can do this.
Mhm.
And then the one thing that I'm sure you're all aware of is that you have, because of it's Gynecological Cancer Month, you have all these, everyone seems to be doing walks at the exact same time. So
Mhm.
the step challenge is, we just need to get the people who haven't already signed up for a step challenge to make it a step challenge, or figure out how they can, you know,
Do both.
increase their team and do both, or so that we're, you know, they're getting money towards the same effort. You know, so what we can do is we can after this call, we can find out when would be a good time for our camp friends to get together and talk with you folks. But in the meantime, we can also tell them that we are going to be like co-captaining from camp,
Yep.
and this is our next steps as the next steps from camp. They thought they got out of it by leaving Ohio, but that's not happening.
No.
So, yep. So we're gonna get the camp people up and running, because there's people working in all different companies around the country, and have family and friends that might be able to join. And we will specifically ask about North Carolina.
That is so fabulous. Well, and the beauty of this, if you choose to, you can kind of pick your own adventure, but you could do this during the entire month of September. So if somebody is participating in Dr. Maxwell's Anova Health Walk on Saturday, September 14th, that would still count towards the Strava goal. So, you know, they could have one dynamite day, but, you know, just be doing it the whole month too, if you choose to do it that way.
Yeah, I think it's
Wheels in
also a
motion.
good, healthy competition, because like we have people that are gonna want to do walking, and there's definitely people that are gonna do like, you know, stuff on, you know, from their home, whether, you know, they're all different types of movement things that we're gonna see, so everyone can be included.
Wonderful. And it is a distance challenge, so it doesn't actually measure steps. So I'm thinking myself, am I going to commit to walking 55 miles in honor of the 5 gyn cancers in September, or might it be 155 miles? As I said, I've not been super active. I wish it was 155, but I really wish it was 555. But we'll all be figuring this out in the next week.
So I'm in a wheelchair. Can I roll 100 miles and just make it?
Absolutely. It's
Okay.
a distance challenge. Yes.
Great.
So we would
That
absolutely
makes it so much more
all movement.
open.
All movement. Yes,
Okay.
absolutely.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
The co-captain has to participate. Yes, please.
Absolutely.
I just
I will
have a quick
crawl if I have to.
I just have a quick question because I put it in the chat, but Michal, are the cancers all the GYN cancers in your camp group, or is it a specific?
We're all
So
ovarian cancer.
You're all what?
and ovarian.
And
Oh,
endometrial.
well, that works for me.
Yeah, we're all ovarian and endometrial. So like I'm a double ovarian and endometrial, but yeah, And then there's one or two that have peritoneal cancers,
me.
and then there's right there you go. And we also have some cervical cancer friends. So
Okay. 'Cause I
if
would just be interested in hearing more about your group in general.
Oh, sure.
we would love to talk to you, and we could set up a call and talk, and we'd love to hear about your event too, because we definitely would love to raise visibility as much as we can for this entire initiative, because I know how hard everyone's working. And it means a lot to all of us that everyone is doing this.
Thank you
I
all
guess
so much. Oh, sorry, Tori, go ahead.
I'm sorry. I just had a question because I was trying to think of, ever since our last call when this was first kind of teased, the idea of the September, I was trying to think of a way that it could be almost like, I think somebody said here, almost like a challenge, because I was thinking of how I could incorporate into like at work with some of my colleagues, and how we could like maybe challenge another practice, to also join in. But would they all be joining in under like my team? And how would that work? Does that make sense? Am I making
Yeah.
sense to my question? Okay.
Yeah, so I can answer that question.
Yeah.
So yes, in order for their miles or distance to be tracked on our leaderboard, they need
Yeah.
to register as a Move for Her fundraiser.
Mhm.
But they could join your team, right? If you want,
Okay.
so there's different ways you can do it. So if you want to say like, my goal is to across my team hit 250 miles, join my team, register here and join my team. So that's one way. Or say there's 10 people you work with that you want on
Mhm.
your team, and you all have another set of 10 coworkers that you want to compete against. So then you could designate a team lead of that other team and compete against each other. So the most important piece though is whoever wants their miles to show or distance to show up, they have to
Yeah.
register for Move for Her and
Okay.
join, either create their own team, join, or you can all just compete as individuals. That's another option too, is
Okay.
everyone can just sign up as an individual and say like who can win, and then you can track
Yeah.
each other's individually.
Okay.
So those are all the different ways that people
Okay.
can.
Okay. Cool. That makes sense.
And then this leads me, the question that's looming in my mind, and I apologize if we've already talked about this, but is there a way that people can then sponsor, the challengers? Like if, say Tori said, if I reach my 250 miles across my team, will you provide a donation, just way, people might sponsor you, in a marathon or something like that.
Yeah, so that is what we're going to encourage through the email communications and social. I know, for instance, if other folks are involved with other organizations, that sometimes you might be used to like being able to pledge within the platform. The way this is set up, you can't officially make a pledge, but we highly encourage like in your communication to use that type of language to your audience and say, for instance, like, I'm committing to reach X amount of miles. Like, if I hit that, will you donate X? You can use that same pledging kind of language. There's just not an official button or form, to fill out.
Got it.
And it's kind of on the honor system,
Marissa, is that type of letter or communication in the toolkit, or?
Yes, that's gonna
Great,
be, that's
okay.
exactly, yep, that's
Yeah.
exactly the messaging we're using in our email and social
yeah.
that we're developing.
And then it has the give button on it.
Well, and then, it encourages, there's different
People to
ways,
sign
right?
up.
So yeah, you can either register or give.
Yeah.
If so, Tori, to add on to what you were saying, if people don't want to commit to do the distance challenge, another option is they can just give to your team, and support you in your
Yeah.
movement goals. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect.
Well, thank you all for being so open to this idea. You know, what we found last year is that there were people who wanted to get a team started or hoped to get a team started, but they really didn't. And we thought this step activity would be, we thought this would be a good way to engage more people and to help teams be successful doing just the kinds of things that you all are sharing. So I will just put a little qualifier on there that our system, it requires a couple of steps, but we are working to improve that for next year. So the experience that you're enjoying this September will not be the same one that we have next year, but that is Catherine, who was working to make all that magic for down the road. But I'm excited to share with my family and friends, and I think it'll be a really fun thing to watch. You know, as Dr. Gardner would tell you herself, there's always a good-spirited, friendly competition within our Society of Gynecologic Oncology members, and we'll be at our allied health professionals meeting, and they've already got 6 regional teams set up. So that's a way people can participate as well. So we'll be thoughtful to end the call on time, but Marissa, I think if you can go to the next slide and maybe we can see how we can just wrap this up most effectively.
Yeah, absolutely. We just have a few quick reminders. It should take less than a minute to kind of to go through. So in addition to the new September challenge, just wanted to remind everyone we're constantly adding updates to the toolkit. For those planning an event, there's now a banner in there that you all can use. It's editable, and then it's in a format where you can take to your local printer and get it printed. We also have a thank you email and social post, so for after your event for you to share. So that's fantastic. And please, if you have ideas for new tools, we have the sponsor letter noted. Please always share with us. We're constantly adding to the toolkit. Then again, just going back to how to get your information added to the event calendar, you can submit the form or you can email Catherine. Catherine's email is up here on the screen. Additionally, I know a lot of you are already in this process, but just a reminder that we are able to support you all to create individual events pages if you are hosting your own event, and Catherine can support you on that. And then once your events happen, don't forget to share. If you're active on social, share on social. There's also a place on the Move4Her website on the events page that you can upload your pictures and they'll get added to our wonderful collage from our events. And that's it. Does anyone have any other questions?
I have one more question. For the medical meetings that are coming up or other things that are going to be in either stadiums or bigger convention centers, have we already built in Move4Her challenges? Because you're going to have all these people are going to be walking around anyway.
You know, that's something that we absolutely did talk about for the SGO annual meeting. And so, Mahal, it's very interesting. We have a development committee meeting this Thursday, and we're talking about what we're doing for the SGO annual meeting and our plans for 2025. So appreciate the question, because we do hope that this will be a meaningful way for people to engage down the road as well as this September.
Great. Well, happy to talk to you offline because we have the owners of the Mall of America down the block for me. So if we wanted to do something there, let me know.
Wow, that is wonderful. Well, you're talking to somebody who put the marathon on, I should say, a run. It wasn't a marathon, it was a run. It felt like a marathon here in February at McCormick Place. So that was to celebrate a Heart Awareness Month. So we'll follow up for sure to talk about many things. But any other questions, Dr. Gardner? I don't know if you've been able to make it to your home yet.
I have just enjoyed this so much. I am just so re-energized by hearing all of the wonderful ideas and engagement and about all of our future opportunities together. I do have one question for Amy. That's going to be, I mean, not only the sponsorship is so important, but it's going to be a great party. I mean, can you capture like a little video on your cell phone, or maybe you have a local photographer that you've already wrapped in? Because would love to share, you know, the awareness that you bring forward. The development funds is absolutely important. That's what empowers future research, patient education, and the core of what we need to get done. And yet that just, you know, coming together and raising the roof and raising awareness would be in any event that's capturing that type of awareness. Would love to make sure we get a video feed on that.
Does it have to be with me on the big tire? Yeah, I can try to get stuff.
One of the GYN colors.
Well, unfortunately, the logo is in the GYN. It's teal and purple. It's so it is in the colors, but we also have now the title sponsor on it, so that's red and black. But yeah, that's
Amy,
not a problem.
I seem to recall a picture of you in a tutu of some sort.
I have
At the race.
That tutu's been around for many years, since the last race. When was the last race?
2019.
Yeah.
Purple or pink?
It was it was I've had that teal tutu since that last race. Yeah, I guess it was 2019.
Tutu. Okay.
I'll wear it again.
And just a shout out to the events in Charlotte, September 28th, for those that are in striking distance or to share with others. That is a major walk through the greenways of Charlotte, and all are welcome. It's going to be super special, and all of our allied health members have formed regional teams throughout the country, and they're coming together for their educational events that weekend, and a lot of the SGO leadership are coming around for Charlotte as well. So all are welcome. It'd be great to see those that can attend in person, or any of our other upcoming national events when we can be together. Just really looking forward to it.
Well, thank everybody so much for all your participation and all your feedback. We are so deeply appreciative of your time. And George, you've been awfully quiet there in Pennsylvania. You had a wonderful plant sale earlier this year, and I know you were thinking of doing something else. Have we given you any ideas? Are you thinking of anything? You're on mute. You're on mute, George. Oops, George, you're laughing, but you're on mute.
You know, I hit the unmute thing twice. It doesn't work. No, I don't have, I had cataract surgery, so now I'm back in the world and seeing things better.
Well, wonderful, wonderful. Well, you recover from that, but thank you for joining us this evening and for all you're doing. But if there's anything we can do to be helpful, don't hesitate to reach out.
Definitely.
Well, thanks so much, everybody. Really appreciate everybody's time and excited to continue our conversations. Shannon, it was lovely to meet you, and Tori will look forward to following up about the events in Alpharetta, and Mahal will hope for next Thursday.
Good luck, Amy.
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, George.